Coming up on Energy Switch, we'll talk about carbon capture and storage.
If you care about climate, you should care about carbon, period. 20 years ago, we were just looking at coal plants, for real, maybe gas plants. Now, we have capture technology for everything, and the costs are going down fast.
It's more about being an emissions mitigation suite of technologies. So if it's cement factories, if it's ethanol, all of the above, we need to be decarbonizing those point sources.
Next on Energy Switch, carbon capture and storage. I'm Scott Tinker, and I'm an energy scientist. I work in the field, lead research, speak around the world, write articles, and make films about energy. This show brings together leading experts on vital topics in energy and climate. They may have different perspectives, but my goal is to learn and illuminate and bring diverging views together towards solutions. Welcome to the Energy Switch. One solution to reducing our carbon emissions is to capture them and store them underground. There are challenges in all steps of this process. How to capture the CO2 at energy and industrial facilities. How to build the pipelines to move it. Where to store it. And how to pay for it. But there are many projects, now in their early stages, beginning to address these issues. I'll talk about these with Sally Greenberg. She's the principal scientist for energy and minerals at the Illinois State Geological Survey, piloting a carbon capture and storage project at Illinois' ethanol plants. Julio Friedman is the chief scientist at Carbon Direct, a carbon management company, formerly with the U.S. Department of Energy and Columbia University. In this episode of Energy Switch, carbon capture and storage. It's great to have you both here, and we're starting off with why. What do we care about capturing and storing CO2? Why does it matter?
If you care about climate, you should care about carbon, period. The math is in. We can do some things like electrification and renewables and nuclear, but there's a bunch of things where we cannot do fuel switching, where we just make emissions. It's about 1/7, about 14% of climate can really be best addressed with carbon capture.
Okay. Agree?
I agree. I think we have safe, effective, demonstrated technologies that allow us to remove significant amounts of carbon dioxide from the system, and we need to deploy it now.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. There's lots of components to it. You know, capture is the first part. Coal plants, these are the big emitters. How do we go about doing that?
Basically, what you need to do is separate out the carbon dioxide from everything else that's in the emission stream, which is typically, somewhere between 7 to 30% carbon dioxide. So you need either a membrane, which is a physical separation mechanism, or an amine or a chemical separation, so that what you end up with at the end of the day is pure carbon dioxide.
Okay. You got this stream going up a stack, and you're grabbing the CO2 out of that somehow.
Yeah.
Does it make sense at coal plants?
There are 2 places in the world where we do this from a coal-fired power plant, one in Canada, one in Texas. But otherwise, we're doing it from stuff like natural gas refineries or hydrogen facilities, mostly from industrial sites. So today, there's about 27 plants around the world capturing about 46 million tons of CO2. And we have injected something on the order of 500 million tons of CO2 in total. So we know how to do this.
So 46 million tons per year they're capturing?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you said 46 million tons. Just for scale, how much do humans emit every year?
We do 46 million tons of CO2 globally. Global CO2 emissions are about 40 billion tons.
Yeah.
So we're doing 1/1000th of that today. And that's one of the big challenges with carbon capture.
Yeah.
It's a big prize, but we got to scale it up a lot.
Yeah. So let's talk about gas then. Natural gas is growing. It's got some benefits to capture. Talk about it a little bit.
The biggest cost associated with capture is the separation. It's not the capture. If you capture from ethanol, it's 99.9% CO2 and some water. It's very easy to separate that out, and you have a pure stream of CO2. So the capture cost there is low. But when you are capturing either from coal or natural gas, you still have that high separation cost. So gas burns cleaner, obviously, so you have less particulate matter. That helps us in other ways. Whether or not it makes an impact in terms of carbon capture and storage and the ease, I'm not so sure.
Okay.